Let's go to New York, New York,
New York,
New York
Rotherham.
Stadium.
Yeah,
We're not
of
going to
course.
the Bronx. We're not
Yeah.
going to Manhattan. What's the bit over the water? I can't remember.
Oh dear, I've never been. I can't say I'm not the
Brooklyn,
best fellow.
Brooklyn. Sorry.
Brooklyn, yes,
Yeah.
Brooklyn, yeah.
No, we're going
Well,
to Rotherham.
yeah. Well, I'll let you lead off a little bit on this
Yeah,
one then,
right.
because you saw their last competitive game.
I did. I was at the playoff final, witnessing Paul Hurst. Going to have a look, and I think a little bit of wiliness and experience of players at a higher level, and a bit of extra fitness, dare I say, won the day there,
Yeah.
for Paul Warne. And interestingly enough, at the Milton Keynes game the other night, I took my seat and I looked over and I recognised that guy, and it was Paul Warne. And I went and had a chat to him, and he said, I said congratulations on the playoff, and he said, oh, that was surreal. Hursty is our mate, so it was all a little bit weird.
Yeah.
So
Mm.
yeah, but he managed to get them up. I really like Paul Warne because I always remember in that terrible season where they got very few points, him saying, "Well, look, I don't really want the job, but I'm kind of have to do it." And he's taken the job. He's done a whole season. He's got them promoted. He's done a very, very good job. And now he's back up again. And all of the how can I be polite? All of the lowest common denominator pundits will say, "Oh, Rotherham relegated. There you go, done. Doesn't even need thinking about." What are their expectations, Harry?
They have great faith in Warren. Um, they they keep yeah. I hope you buy one Rotherham fan put it like this. He said, "I hope you buy wisely with the future in mind. Keep faith with Warren, whatever, and see the whole project as steady building, even if that does mean another relegation fight." They have great faith with him. One of them says he's spot on with what he's doing, and realistically, this is our only way forward with the big boys in the championship. The big fear is losing him if they do well. And if the worst happens, what they've done is they've kept the core of the playoff team together. In one of the preseason playoffs, eight of the team that won at Wembley are still with the club. The only three, Rodek, Josh Emmanuel, and Richie Towell, who were all loan players who've gone back. The rest of the team is still very much intact, and they're building very much around that. The players they've brought in, again, clever lower league signings. Zach Viner has come on loan from Bristol City. Kyle Vassell, two from Blackburn, Clark Robinson, Kyle Vassell, a defender and a striker. But interestingly, Sean Raggett has come, former Lincoln defender, has come over from Norwich as well on a season-long loan.
Expensive defender.
Yes, he is actually. Now that you say that, that will not have been cheap. But they're obviously looking again to strengthen the back line with the view to then, at least if we have that rock solid, we can take it from there. There is a fear that they lack quality, but they're kind of keeping one eye on if it does go wrong, rather than going through the chaos they had where they were buying and selling players for fun. A few years ago, when they made the two leaps up season after season, I think they'd prefer to come up, be stable. If they go down again, so be it. They can regroup and come back up again. But with what division they're in, I wouldn't say it's immaterial, but they're kind of taking it they're taking a longer term view. There's the players that have left are fringe players. They've very much. It has not been a huge rebuilding exercise, so that they are pretty much holding together what they've got and hoping to push on from there. Whether or not it'll be good enough, I don't know, but having a settled team does give you the advantage of usually a strong start in the championship, because you haven't got a whole lot of players all getting to know each other, and they have the memory of the Wembley win, which they can then take forward. They have that collective identity and personality, and they have a manager who knows the DNA of the club incredibly well. So it's certainly, in a way, they are trying to do what some of the progressive teams we talked about earlier are trying to do, albeit from a lower base, and it does give them their best possible chance of survival. If they can get into the bottom six rather than the bottom three, they can then use that then as a bridgehead and then push on from there.
I totally agree. I always think first 2 months, who am I more scared of? A team with 8 new players that spent a load of money, or a team that's been winning for a whole year. For example,
Yeah.
last September, everyone's like, "Oh, Sheffield United are good," and I'm like, "Well, they've been winning for 6 years." Do you know what I mean? It's
Yeah.
teams
Yeah.
get used to winning, and yeah, let's bring it up. Ipswich finished fifth in the Premier League 2001. They probably won 60% of their games for the previous 5 years, hadn't they? So
Yeah.
teams
Yeah.
get used to winning. So I do agree with you. I only think maybe it lasts the first 2 months, but and Millwall didn't. Millwall didn't even win for a whole
Yeah.
season in their League One. They had a really good run at the end, and
Yeah.
you get used to winning. And I suppose that is the that's going to be the thing for Rotherham. And I think you're right. I think the stadium's nice, and it's one of these ones where you go to Milton Keynes and it's a beautiful stadium, but it's the wrong stadium for the size of club. Whereas Rotherham,
Yeah.
it's perfect. You know, it's all fitted in. They understand that there's Sheffield United and there's Sheffield Wednesday and there's Leeds, these kind of Yorkshire behemoths. And I know what you say about the yo-yo club thing, because it's all very well being a yo-yo club between the Premier League and the Championship and taking £68 million in parachute payments, but
Yeah.
it's not actually that helpful between Championship and League One, is it?
No. No. It doesn't work like that at all. And if you drop down, you don't have the financial cushion necessarily to regroup. And you can, but just as easily, if you do come up, you have one good season. And when we come on and look at Wigan and Blackburn, you know, it's possibly less daunting to get established if you can get a couple of seasons. We've seen it. I mean, they talked themselves about Millwall. They've been talking about Sheffield United. They've been talking about other teams who have come up and who have actually said, you know, and they're not big teams. Preston aren't a huge team, but yet they've got themselves up, they've got themselves established, and they've pushed on. So it's not unachievable.